As well. Hello, Mr. Steven, can you hear us? His network is a big devil.
Yes, I can hear you, sir. The network is very.
Oh, okay. Let me just try and go over what I actually want to pass across today. Um, we are talking about the concept of getter and setter. Now, we've been using we're talking about instance variables, and imagine a scenario whereby for each time you try to um, collect a value, or each time you try to call for a particular object variable, like in this case maybe salary, benefit, you want to do some things. You don't just only want to collect those details, you want to do some things before, even at the point you are collecting it. Or maybe you are trying to set a value, you are trying to, maybe I want to change the value of a particular object variable. At the point of trying to set it, I want to perform some actions. So that's the concept of getter and setter. And we had to make use of a decorator. Now, the decorator is when you, now as you can see, this is a function, def benefit, this is a function, def benefit. And in the real sense, these two should contradict, because you shouldn't have a function with the same name in your class. Only in a situation whereby you are doing something like polymorphism, in which you have different parameters, different argument, different number of arguments inside of them. But in this case now, we are dealing with getter and setter. So for we to define a function to be a getter, we have to use the at property, which is a decorator. So when you have something above a function like this, you are decorating that function. So it's a decorator. So in this case now, the property decorator decorates this def benefit I just highlighted as the getter function. Now, for the setter function also, here it is also. So to decorate it, I have to put at, then the name of the property itself, dot setter. So that makes this function a setter property, a setter function. Now, what happens is when I try to set the value of these object variables called benefits, it performs all what I have here. It performs all the magic you are seeing here. It's going to do all this. And for each time I try to collect the value of benefit, which is the concept of getter, it performs all we see inside this function here. Now, let's do something very interesting. Let me just take this off for now. So now we've done that. Now let's assume I want to, now let me run this now. So let's assume I want to set the value. I said as it is, benefit is a is a property. Now benefit is a property, so maybe I want to give it a value. So or maybe I want to print it, I want to get it. Now if I want to get that property called benefit, it has dropped since. I'm just shouting, God have mercy. Hey, Mr. Steven.
I get the difference now. The one we are doing, you have to call a function, a method.
To be able to
so that you have to start writing
another function,
method on its own. For this one, now you can use the same name
to
do it at once without.
Mr. Steven, are you with us?
I think I understand. Let me try.
Mr. Steven, are you there? Oh, Father Lord. Okay, I will just keep explaining in faith that you are listening. Okay. So, talking about getter and setter, I will explain again. you know, when I talk about instance variables or object variables, by now I know you understand what I mean. Something like salary, in this case, is an instance variable. Something like gender, name, age, year, they are instance variables. Now, have you thought of a concept in which you, at the point at which you are getting a variable, or at the point at which you are setting the value for a variable, you want to perform some specific actions. You want to do some things, and that's the concept of getter and setter. So at the point at which I'm getting a property, at the point at which I'm getting an instance variable, I want to do some things. At the point at which I'm setting the value of an instance variable, at the point at which I'm setting the value of a particular property, I am doing some things. Now, in this case, as you can see, I have two functions, def, benefit. It has dropped again. Okay, let me just keep on. Yes. So at the point at which I'm getting this benefit, I want to do what I have here. And at the point at which I'm setting the value of benefit, I want to do what I have here. So as you can see, I created two functions. The first one, and I decorated it with the property called @property. So this one is the getter. When the second one, I decorated with then the name of the benefit dot setter. So this one is the setter function. So at each point I try to get benefit, she's a property. These functions will be executed. It will subtract 500 from the salary and it will return the benefit. And each time I'm trying to set the value of the benefit, it checks if what I'm trying to set is greater than 5,000, then it will set the value of benefit itself to be 25,000. And if it's the other way, to set the value to be 10,000. So let's make use of this now. Let me try and set the value of benefit. So let me say from here, let me just, as you can see, I've created instances there. Civil servant. So civil servant is an instance. So let me say civil servant dot benefit now. Dot benefit. Let me set it to be 8,000. Now, at this point now, I'm setting it to be 8,000. So what it means is it will come at that point, it will come around this function, and that function will compare what I'm trying to do. So it's going to compare it, and that will be carrying the value called val. And so is 8,000 greater than 5,000? Yes. Then that's what is going to set to be the value of benefit. So the value of benefit will end up being 25,000. So let me run that. So let me, at this point, after that, let me now print the same benefit I just altered. So let me print benefit also. So let me run this now. So as you can see, normally I set the value to be 8,000, but I'm getting the value back to be 25,000 because at the point at which I'm setting, this function here is being executed. And that function compares what I'm trying to check. If it's greater than 5,000, it sets it to be 25,000. So now, another thing you should take note, at the point at which I'm getting the benefit, now it is subtracting. This function is being run because at this other line here, I'm getting it. So I'm getting it, trying to print it, I'm getting it. So getting it executes this function I have here. And what does that function do? That function subtracts 500 naira from my salary, and it returns the value of benefit. So she ended up printing 25,000. But let me also now print what my salary is. So let me print civil servant dot okay. Now since my salary is private, let me use this. Okay, this get salary will print it out. So I will use civil servant dot get salary to do that. So now normally the salary I pass in for this civil servant is 90. As we can see from here, when I 90, that's the last attribute here. That's 90. So it should print out and tell me kindly pay Mr. So a sum of 90 naira. But take note that at the point at which I'm getting benefit, I've gone ahead to subtract 500 from the salary. So let me print it and let's see what we have here. Oh, there is a bug there. Okay, there is a bug there. I expect it to have subtracted from that. So let me do it here. Let me make this 7,000 and okay. Okay. Let me run this and let's see what we have. Okay. Okay, Mr. Steven, you're welcome. I'm recording and I've explained quite a number of some things. So I will upload the recordings and send it over after done with explanation. Okay. Or let me not make this a come in. Let me not make this a private. Let me make it public. Make it public. Okay, sorry. So self.salary. Let me leave it that way. I think I know where the bug is now. So let me leave it at self.salary. So self.salary or salary for self.salary minus 500. So let me run this and let's see what we have. Okay. So a sum of minus 500 naira. Okay, let me try and explain what we have here. Okay, self.salary equals self.salary minus 500 naira. Okay, let me run this again. Okay, yeah, we are cool. So now let me re-explain what I was trying to explain. So I get the whole thing is set. So now I haven't explained how getter and setter works. Now if you look at my getter function here, at each time I try to get this value, I alter the value of the salary. So each time you get a benefit, your salary is reduced by 500 naira. So I'm being able to run this function each time you try to get the value of benefit. So at this point, I set the value of benefit to 8,000, setting the value of benefit to 8,000, execute this and gives the value of benefits to be 25,000. And when I printed benefits, I got 25,000. Now, getting the value of benefits ran some functions. It ran some function, and this is the function it run. This benefit function. So it subtracts 500
So, sir, excuse me, sir,
from the salary. Are you there? So it subtracts 500 from the salary. So at the point at which I'm getting the salary here.
Yes, sir. You were talking about the double underscore that is from. Yes, I'm listening, sir. So I'm trying to ask a question, sir.
Okay.
Sir, the self dot.
You can continue, Mr. Steven. Oh, okay. So when I print this now, you can see that it has subtracted 500 naira from the salary of the civil servant.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So you said that the double underscore, like the double underscore, I'm asking, is it private? The one that was did for self dot underscore benefits.
Yes, it's private. It's private, but at this point now, benefit now, it has now become like a getter setter now. You can get it, but from the outside, you can't say maybe civil servant dot underscore underscore benefit. No, you can only call benefit, which has now become a property. So underscore underscore still remains a private, but due to the fact that we want to include some some flexibility, being able to run some function when you are trying to get it or when you are trying to set it, then it becomes a property that you can get and you can also set.